Hey guys, thanks for joining me. In today's video, I wanted to share a tutorial about how I made these DIY face masks. Please do keep in mind that this is not a replacement for personal protective equipment, although it is an alternative that we could use when we have to go outside our home. I do want to be clear that homemade fabric masks does not guarantee someone protection from becoming infected with COVID-19. So here are the materials that I'm using, and as for the pattern, I got this from Design Space, and if you don't have access to Design Space, you will find tons of free ones online. These masks are actually for my kids, so the size for my Sonic fabric is 11 by 7. And then for my red fabric, this is size at 10 by 6. And I have this kind of elastic, which I found it in the jewelry section. I know it's been difficult to find elastics around, but I've seen others use ribbons, hair ties, cut-up shirts, or any fabric to use to go around your head or your ears. I'm just going to trace the template on the fabric. Just going to cut the lining with my rotary tool, and if you are using one of these tools, just ensure to cut away from yourself. Please be very careful because these blades are extremely sharp. And then don't forget to close the blade for safety. This is what it looks like once you open the fabric up, and I have it wrong side up. Then I'm going to fold a 1/4 of an inch on both sides, and I'm just going to use my fingers to make the crease. But if you have an iron or a Cricut mini press, please feel free to use them if you'd like. So now I'm going to take these to my machine and I'm going to sew them together. And here you go. I went ahead and stitched the sides. So I start from the top to the bottom, and as you can see, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it'll work just fine. Then fold the fabric in half and line it up. Then you can place a pin or a clip to secure placement, and you're going to sew 1/4 of an inch from the seam. So I'm back to show you where the fabric was sewn together. You can make snips and slits here with your scissors if you'd like, but I'm going to use my pinking shears to trim this part. I'm just going to open this part of the fabric and just press it with my fingers to keep it flat. Or if you prefer, you can use your iron or mini press to help you keep the fabric flat all the way down the fabric. Some sew a straight line on both sides of the center here. But what I will be doing is I'm just going to do a zigzag stitch instead. But do what is comfortable for you. So I'm going to bring this to my machine and I'll be right back. So this is what it looks like when you do a zigzag stitch. And it even shows better on the other side. I did the same exact thing on the other fabric, sewed the sides and zigzag stitch in the middle. So now I'm just going to face the fabric right side together, line them up from the center, grab a clip and place to secure the fabric together. And I'm just going to do the same thing at the bottom. So now I'm just going to do a straight stitch starting here and all the way across. Do the same stitch down here, so from here and across. So I'll be right back. So as you can see, I've done the straight stitch up here all the way across, as well as the bottom. Now I'm just going to pull the fabric right side out. So I'm not sure if you can tell, but I'm kind of working the fabric between my fingers back and forth, and I'm just pressing it with my fingers to keep the fabric its shape. But you can always use an iron or a mini press if it'll make it easier for you. So I'm just going to take this back to my sewing machine to do a top stitch just to keep its shape sturdy, and it will give it a finished look. So I started the top stitch from here and all the way across, and I did the same thing at the bottom. I'm going to flip over the mask, fold the side of the fabric. I'm just going to put a clip here to keep the fold in place. Then I'm going to sew over this stitch right here. Just remember not to sew too close because keep in mind that the elastic goes inside this fold. Plus, I don't want it too close to the red side of my fabric, which is going to be the pocket filter. Now I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side, and I'll be right back. Now that I stitched both sides, I'm going to insert my elastic. I don't have a safety pin with me, but I found a paper clip which I'm going to use. And I've already made a knot on my elastic, and I'm going to place the knot on the paper clip, and then I'm going to pull it tight. Now I don't want this part to get caught inside the fabric when I'm inserting this through. So I'm just going to use a washi tape to keep this part from getting caught onto my fabric. And by the way, this elastic is about 20 inches. So if it's too big for your kid's head, you can always adjust it. So I'm just going to insert the elastic starting at the bottom of the mask. Then pull the elastic through. And then insert the elastic on the other side of the mask. And then pull the elastic through the fabric. Now grab both sides of the elastic and make a knot. Now I'm just going to pull the elastic to hide the knot inside the fabric. It is now hidden, and this right here is the pocket filter where you can place a piece of filter of your choice or fabric. And that's it. Alright you guys, thank you for watching and stay safe.